Hey everybody, what is going on? Serial Overdrive here, and today I'm playing Entropia Universe. What we're going to be doing today is I have a 50 PED mining run that I'm going to be doing, but also it's going to be a little bit more than 50 PEDs because I'm going to be throwing a 207 PED amplifier onto this mining finder. So yeah, we're basically going to be doing about 257 PEDs worth of a mining run. And I don't know how far I'm going to get through this mining run. I probably won't do the whole thing, but we're going to see if we can get some good loot. Hopefully, because we're going out here sort of into this PvP area, the loot's going to be a little bit better. I always notice that in PvP, the loot seems to be just a little bit better than average, so I figured it might be a good time to amp up. Plus, I did pretty good before, so I don't know if that video, I think the video's come out. Basically, I was on Rocktropia, like, literally yesterday, and maybe like a week before that, or maybe not a week, but a little bit before that, I hit a mining Hoff. It was over 200 PEDs. It was pretty big. It was like number 58, 57 on the Hoff list, so I was super psyched to get that. Unfortunately, after that, so I kept mining on Rocktropia, like things were looking good, and then I realized just none of the resources I was putting out were actually selling on auction. Just the auction over there is too dead. So I didn't want to stay any longer just because I realized, like, yeah, I'm going to have to get a warp, and I'm going to have to arrange a lot of stuff. So I just came back to Calypso because it's too hard. It really is. Like, it was just too hard for me to sit there on Rocktropia and worry about how I'm going to get everything back because, I got a good loot. I got 200 PDs, 200 plus PDs of Melchi, and I needed to liquidate it. So my options were either come back here to liquidate it, sell it for TT, or try and sell it on the Rocktropia auction. It wasn't selling on the Rocktropia auction. That was my first sort of thing that I tried to do, and that didn't work. I couldn't sell it. So after that, I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I've got to go back to Calypso. So here we are. We're back on Calypso because of that. Did we just hit two right on top of each other? Right? Oh, look at this. Look at this. This might be a first. Is it? No. Look at that. That is crazy, folks. Look at that. Two claims right next to each other. Hold on. Let's see, now that is a cool screenshot right there. Right? Like, look at that. It's awesome. I'm psyched to get that. Alright. Actually, if we could get a global right here, that'd be perfect. Get a global standing in between two claims. Alright, we couldn't quite do it. Anyways, what was I saying, man? I got way off topic there. But yeah, I just couldn't sell anything on an auction for Rocktropia, and that was just, I was like, this sucks. Like, I'm getting decent loot, but I just can't sell it anywhere. I can't get any markup, so I'm losing more just because I'm here, even though I'm getting a little bit more in loot than I would be if I was on Calypso. So I came back to Calypso, and here we are, right? Like, that's the easiest way to do it. If you know someone with the mothership, or if you can jump back and forth a little bit more often, it might be worth it. My issue was just I didn't want to. So the way I like to do things is I like to just log in and record. And if I want to be on a planet, I just want to be able to jump in my quad wing and go there. And just with leaving a couple hundred PDs of resources behind, I couldn't justify it. I can't jump into my quad wing and go when I've got a couple hundred PDs of resources sitting on a planet. And because of that, when I got the chance, I decided I'm going to leave, come back to Calypso, and everything's going to go hopefully good here. Also, while I was on Club Never Die, I was going to do, or Club Never Die, Rocktropia, I was going to do a thing on The Thing. So you can go to The Thing. This is an area, or just another teleporter area in Rocktropia. So if you go down here to the drop down, in Rocktropia, you're going to have Hell, The Thing, and then the Secret Island, I think it is. So if you go to The Thing, if it's your first time there, you're going to get a series of missions that you can do, and you're basically going to be able to get a healing device, this thing right here, this med kit. You're going to be able to get some ammo, about 50 PCs of ammo. You're going to be able to get this gun right here, this assault rifle, which is sort of, it looks cool. It seems bugged because I can't get it to actually do any damage. So that was another thing. And then you're also going to be able to get a vehicle. But yeah, I got a vehicle, and everything was going good, and then I'm running through the missions, and just all of a sudden I got to this place where it's restart. I needed a secret key or something like that to restart a generator, and I could not find it. For the life of me, I couldn't find it. I Googled it, I couldn't find any guides, and I was just completely stuck, right? I I literally made a video when I was on Rocktropia of just me asking for help, and I'm like, I need to do this. Someone's gonna help me, right? So I made that video. I was gonna put it out, but then just there were a lot of bugs when I was playing the game, right? Like I was on the thing, I was hunting, and then my gun wasn't working. Like this thing right here, this assault rifle, I was burning through ammunition. Like I had this ammunition, the low grade, I think that's what it takes at least. I was burning through low grade. I was just using it up, but it was not doing any damage to the mob in front of me. And I had the same problem when I was shooting the barrel for the test, and I thought it was just like a glitch. But I think the gun's glitched. I think one of the guns that I got on Rocktropia for free on the thing was glitched, or something was wrong with it. I don't know what was going on, but it just was not doing damage. I was taking damage from the mob, so the mob was definitely hittable. It was ridiculous. I was doing damage. I was shooting. I could hear the gun shooting. I checked. Everything was like A-okay on my end. Like everything seemed to be working, and it wasn't. Like it just wasn't. Like I just couldn't do damage to the mob. The gun wasn't working, and it was a level 1 mob. I'm not out here hunting Aatrox with a level 1 gun and wondering what's going on. Everything like dead to rights. It should have been working, and it wasn't. And I was just like, I got a little fed up with that because I kept trying to do a video of like how to get free things on Rocktropia. I wanted to do that. And I thought it would be a cool video to do, but I can't really recommend doing something when all you're going to get is a glitched gun. Like, that's not a good experience for anybody. So yeah, I sort of had to call that short, and I'll probably go back there and try and refilm sometime in the coming months. And my hope is that at that time I'm going to be able to actually do things, and it'll be a better experience, and we'll get a better video out of it. Because that's one of the things, like, I really, as much as like you don't see it, I really don't want to put out subpar videos. So I like this when I can sit here and talk and do everything like that. But the last thing I want to do is dump a video out just because it's a video or just because it's long. And I think like, hey, I'm going to get views for this. And I've noticed some people have actually criticized me about that because I've been doing these videos on like coronavirus. And they're saying that I'm clickbaiting, right? But no, I actually do, like, I don't enjoy talking about it because it literally is like something that's killing people. But I think it's something that information needs to go out there. So that's why I'm making those videos. And FYI, for any of you guys saying that I'm doing it for the money, the views, I have quite a few views. Like my channel has over 2 million views. A couple thousand views isn't gonna change things in or against my favor. Also, I demonetized all those videos. Like none of those videos, like none of the coronavirus videos are making me money just because there's a button I can click on videos to demonetize them. So literally I don't make any money off of that. I thought like, oh yeah, I could always make money off of it and then donate it to charity, but that's a little skeevy because a lot of people say that, but then, oh, I accidentally dropped and I got a claim. A lot of people say they're gonna do it, but they don't. And then the other thing that I've noticed is a lot of people, even if they say they're going to do it, but they do it, like, how do you prove it? And we're only talking about like $1 or $2. So I just decided it was easier just to demonetize it, and I'm not going to make any money off that stuff because that's not how I roll. That's not something I want to do. So yeah, if you're commenting like, hey, you're just doing this for the views, I'm getting views, that's true, but there's no monetary incentive in it for me whatsoever. And all the people, like, I can see the stats, there's no one that's following me because I talk about coronavirus. It's a topic that I think is interesting to talk about, and I think there's a lot of sort of bad narratives about it, and people are really confused. So if I can do something to help, I'll do what I can. And I don't think I'm doing anything crazy, like helpful wise, but I don't know. I think it helps to have saner viewpoints out there compared to someone like Alex Jones, who's just, screaming about it being a conspiracy or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. Figured I'd touch on that real quick because we've got the time. But yeah, Rocktropia was good. It was good. I really did enjoy the Hoff, and I really do like the atmosphere they've got there. And honestly, the music is killer. Like, of all the planets, Rocktropia, in my opinion, has the best music, right? Like, I've got to turn it off because if I have music playing, that's not good for YouTube. But, like, if you turn the sound down, right, like, if you flip this up, it really is, like, awesome. Like, Rocktropia has some killer music, and they really do a good job with that. The thing is a little bit detached, in my opinion, from the whole Rocktropia idea because it's supposed to be a rock and roll world, and I don't know what... Oh, are you kidding me? I did not even mean to drop that. Oh my lord. Oh no, stop. Oh, I didn't. What? That was crazy. That was legitimately crazy. I didn't. I did not know I was dropping. I was just talking, and then all of a sudden I see swirlies, and I'm like, is that real? What happened here? And I just realized that I'd left it running. I'd accidentally like auto tooled the finder, and I got in a claim. Huh. That is lucky. That's all luck right there. I didn't expect it. That's crazy. That's awesome. Wow. I am honestly shocked with that one, just because I dropped that probe. I accidentally dropped that probe. I didn't even know it was there, and then all of a sudden it's like there's gold around me, and it's like, what is going on here? 79 PEDs of light and dust. That's a good claim. That's a solid claim right there. Nice. That's awesome. That like caught me way off guard, because I was about to be like, oh, now MindArc is just teasing me with these globals. Like, I didn't even drop anything. How could I get a global? And then I looked, and it's my finder's automatically dropping on something that I wouldn't normally drop on, and it worked out. I would have completely missed that claim if I hadn't auto dropped. That was lucky. Like, the fact that I got a claim on an accidental drop is that's crazy. That's so lucky. That's just so lucky. And light and dust, I think that has like a decent markup on it too. That's probably gonna actually make up for the markup I paid on the amplifier. So yeah, the amplifier markup was 103.5%. So as long as all these ores, their total value is over 3.5%, I'm doing good. Obviously, if you hit a HOF or something like that, there's more risk involved with the amplifiers. But that risk is a little bit more downplayed on Calypso, because you're finding more claims, but the claims just aren't as big, so you're less likely to get a global. But I did, lucky me. But yeah, that risk is downplayed here versus Club Never Die, where you're just more likely to hit a global, but you're less likely to get loot in general. Obviously, it did work out for me. Like, this is crazy, and part of it I think is because I'm actually by like a high aggro mob, so depending on how you think the loot pool works, there's a chance that like claims could sort of pool in areas where people don't mine as often. And I accidentally dropped again. All right, let's stop this. It's auto dropping. Come on, is it gonna give it to me? Oh, are you kidding me? All right. I hit this and it auto tools it. I guess it's auto tooling my finder, and it's dropping. So there's been a few drops here that I haven't actually meant to drop, but I can't complain. When you're accidentally dropping claims and getting globals, how can you complain about that? It's crazy. Let's see. Oh, it didn't auto tool that time. So I don't know. I'm probably just double clicking or getting a little too excited. Let's drop again, because we've had 2 accidental drops and we've gotten stuff. So maybe a drop on purpose. That's probably not going to get me anything, if we're being honest here. Yep, that's not going to get me anything. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and actually refine some of this stuff, because we need to be able to run. So if you refine stuff, it's actually lighter, so then you can run. So let's go ahead and drop it in this light and powder, mainly because I'm interested to see just how much it's worth, not because it's going to give me too much back. So we got 79 PDs of this stuff, and it's worth 103.3%. All right, not quite the markup beast that I was thinking it would be. My bad there. I was thinking it would be like a huge amount of markup that I get off of it, but it wasn't. That wasn't the case. Most of this stuff actually, it looks like it's not going to be returning over the amplifier markup, so it probably was not the best choice of mine to buy that amplifier, unless these energized crystals are still worth not too much. 108%, like that's decent. I'm not going to complain about that. That's going to help me out a lot. But none of this stuff is like crazy high markup. Which, all right, typo's decent again. Like, some of this stuff is okay, but the majority of it's going to come from this light and dust, which doesn't have a high markup. But all I've got to do is make up about, an extra 1 or 2% on the other stuff, and I'll be fine. So I think, honestly, it probably was worth it to amp up, excluding the global. That's one of the things I want to do. I'm not counting the global in that figure, because obviously anytime you hit a global and you've got an amp, or you've got an amp like this and you're still hitting claims, like it's going to skew the results. So I don't want to count that and be like, well, because I got a global, it's worth it. And it's like, well, you got a global, but if I hadn't got a global, would it be worth it? Vehicles cannot be placed in the zone. All right, that's not good. So I'm going to have to run around this the old-fashioned way. I can't go through this herd of hoglos. There's no way I can take them, so I'm just going to run east and go up around them. Those of you guys looking for a hoglo place, this could be it. But yeah, in the future, I'm actually planning some pretty interesting videos, I think, for Entropia Universe. That's one of the reasons I was on Rocktropia. But I'm going to go to some other planets, and we are going to have like the classic sort of deed videos where I go over like if deeds are worth it and everything like that. I'm going to go over Compat and Arcadia Moon deeds and Arcadia Underground deeds and Calypso Land deeds and why payouts are what they are and everything like that. So I know a lot of you guys have been asking for that one, like the 2020 guide to deeds. That is going to be coming out probably in the next like week or two. So that's coming, maybe not the next week or two. I don't know. It depends on the schedule with everything else, but that video is going to be created and it will be put out sometime soon. So there is going to be a deed video for those of you guys to look forward to. But there's some other stuff I've got in the works that I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to pull it off or not. But there's some really cool video ideas I've got, and I just want to give it a shot just to see how it does. And they all involve Entropia Universe, but it's going to be different from the typical mining run or beginner guide or anything like that I normally do. So I'm hoping that it's gonna turn out good, but we'll see. So yeah, let's just keep mining. I'm trying to think of other stuff to talk about because with Entropia there's not too much going on. They've been doing they do their weekly update. I think it's on Tuesday in the morning or midnight. I don't know. They do a Tuesday update basically, but there hasn't been much coming out of that, so there's not really much for me to talk about. I'm sure they're making fixes on their end. It's just nothing that we as players are going to see. So yeah, there's not, as far as Entropia Universe goes, there's not too much for me to talk about outside of those glitches I was getting on Rocktropia, which we can talk about that till I'm blue in the face, but it is what it is. And I think part of it, I don't really know how big these planets are, but I know for the planets there was a considerable investment done, and they did have funds at one point to run for like a year or two, but I think a lot of planets are sort of running out of those funds, and that's why we're seeing not so much development going on. My guess would be returns haven't been quite what they were hoping for. Arcadia is probably doing pretty good because they've got moon deeds and underground deeds that gave them some money back, and they're getting a lot of players to start there. But all the other planets, I don't know if there's many players that really like spawn there, so there's not too much going into their pockets out of it. The one that might be a little bit different, though, is Rocktropia, because Rocktropia was the first planet to be released, for those of you guys who don't know. So that means there's a lot of people that were just out there buying up, like, Rocktropia shops and Rocktropia apartments and all this Rocktropia stuff because they thought it was going to be massive. Like, people were thinking that this would be the new Calypso, that this was going to be, like, the better Calypso. So everybody wanted to get in on it. I actually even considered buying an apartment there, or a shop there myself. It was just they were too expensive at the time. I'm like, it's a little too much for me. That'd be all my PEDs, and then what am I going to sell in the shop? Nothing, right? Like, so I didn't do it. Probably a good call. Not good call, but I probably got lucky on my part because it was not a call that I made. My call would have been to buy the shop, but I just didn't have the money in the game, and I didn't want to deposit for it. So my take on Entropia Universe a lot of the time is I like to just be like I like to live off what I've made, right? Like I'm basically what do they call it? Independently wealthy. I don't know what they call it, but whatever it is, I'm living off my little like Entropia Universe based trust fund and just playing off of that, and that's sort of, it's fun. I like it. I have a good time with it. I get to play at my sort of a nice level where I'm not spending a ton of money or anything like that, but at the same time I didn't want to deposit because I felt like, well, then I'm not living off my little trust fund and all that work that I did, and now I'm just putting money in, and it would change the way the game feels for me. Especially because we were talking about like probably thousands of dollars, like USD, that I'd have to put in, which is, I mean, that's quite substantial. That would, if you've got an account worth, what my account's worth, maybe like 5,000, let's say, USD. If I put another 5 in, I've doubled the value. I can go a lot harder, higher, everything like that. But then there's, like, I've got to maintain it, right? That's the thing. Like, if you put money into an Entropia Universe to buy gear or something like that, and then you use it to buy that gear, there's a good chance that you've got to maintain it. With a shop, if I put money in to buy a shop, that's something that I've got to actively sort of manage and everything like that, and I just didn't really have the time to do it at the time, and I still don't, to be honest. Like, I still don't have the time to manage a shop. There's some people that have asked me, like, oh yeah, Serial, if you're so good at trading, you're so good at this or that, why don't you just get a new account and do it all over again? And it's like, well, because at the time that I did it, I had no job and plenty of free time, and now I have a job and very little free time. Like, that's just not going to happen, right? If one of you guys is a Saudi billionaire and you want to pay me millions of dollars to do this, like, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Like, I'll sit down and grind Entropia Universe 8 hours a day trading and doing all that stuff, and we'll see what happens with it, right? But, you know, when you've got work and everything like that, the last thing I want to do is come and like grind a game for 8 hours, you know? Usually when I'm playing Entropia Universe, the way I play, I just log in for 20, 30 minutes, hang out, play the game, and then I'm off. That's just not something that you can do if you're looking to if you're looking to be a free-to-play player. You really need to make it something that you're spending a lot of time doing, because you've got to keep up to date on the prices. You've got to make sure you're moving things before prices can catch you or correct. So that's one of the big things, right? It's not just about what price you buy something at. It's about getting rid of stuff before it drops in price or goes up in value. Obviously, if it goes up in value, it's not a problem. But the problem is, if you make a habit of holding on to resources, there's a good chance that at some point that's going to catch up to you. And let's say you buy Melchi at 110%, it's selling for 112, and then 3 weeks later you log in to sell it, and now all of a sudden Melchi is only worth, you know, let's say it's worth 109. So you just lost 1% because you couldn't move it fast enough. And when you're doing trading, like, that's a big thing, right? This isn't, like, trading isn't speculative. You shouldn't be buying an item, sitting on it, and hoping that it goes up in value, because that's a whole different ball game, right? Like, why do you think it's going to go up in value? And you've got to remember, all these values are something that Mindark can sort of edit, right? Like, if Mindark releases a blueprint tomorrow that's, like, super crazy good, all of a sudden everything that blueprint is using is going to go up in value. So, like, it's artificial. It can not be artificially manipulated, because that makes it sound like there's some sort of, like, weirdness going on. It's just something that can be susceptible to changes that you could not predict in any way, shape, or form, right? I mean, it's sort of like the U.S. stock market, but the U.S. stock, or any stock market, I guess, is a little bit more, like, realistic, right? Like, Boeing cannot come out and say, hey, we're going into the McDonald's business and now we're worth $20 billion. But when you're dealing with Entropia Universe, an economy where new item or new resource can be created at any time, there's no such thing as, like, it's like supply and demand exists, but it's controlled by Mindark, and they might not care about supply and demand, right? Like, they might not care if more oil comes out. Maybe they just need more oil to come out, or maybe they need less oil to come out, or maybe they, you know, make a new blueprint that uses it, and it's like, well, the price will fluctuate a little bit, but no big deal. If you're a trader, that can be a huge deal. So the big thing is to just get rid of your stuff pretty quickly, right? Like, you know, whatever you've got, just get rid of it, right? Like, if you've got a big, you know, if you've got a resource, what you want to do is you want to, you know, sell it as soon as possible. And if you don't have the time to do that, then you're going to run into trouble. I'm going to die here and then go back to the spawn point and mine just a little bit back there, wherever I spawn to. This thing's probably going to kill me in one hit. Let's see. There we go. Serial Overdrive taking 2 hits unarmored from the Hoglow. Yeah, that was good. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'd need to be playing way more than I do, so there's just no way you're ever going to get me to do that. Unless you want to put the money down, right? Like, if you want to pay me to do that, you got to pay me a lot, but we can make it happen. I don't think anyone will, though. Maybe you guys will surprise me. Maybe one of you is a closet billionaire and just wants to see what I can do. But I highly doubt it. So yeah, we're just gonna head south this time, because we actually did pretty good out here. I think, like, we got some really good loot and we got that global. So I'm gonna just head south and see if I can't find a little bit more. Because I think, how much do I have left on this amplifier here? We might as well just make this a full 250. Oh, I've still got 116 PDs left on the amplifier. So we might not make this a full 250 or PED run. This might be a little bit under that, because I don't want to. I want to do like 11 more drops and then call it, basically, is what I'm saying. Okay, there we go. Getting a nice little medium there. So the claims are bigger because I've got an amplifier, for those guys who don't know. But yeah, like, you know, it's one of those things too. And the other thing too is, if you start from scratch, it's going to take you a lot more time to build up to the point where you can actually trade. To trade, you're going to want about like 50 to 100 PEDs to work with. You can do the free missions when you start. That'll get you maybe like 5 to 10 PEDs, but after that you need to sweat, and sweat sells for so low that you're going to have to spend probably 10, 20, 30, maybe even 50 to 100 hours just to get to the point where you can start trading. And that is that's a crazy crazy amount of time, in my opinion. If it was up to me, if I was starting Entropia Universe again, so all you new players, listen up. What I'd do is I'd buy the beginner armor pack and just go from there, right? Like, use that money or use those PEDs to play a little bit. If you like the game, maybe start trading, look into the economics of it, see if there's some little edge that you can get, because that is a fun aspect of the game, and like that's something that you'll see me come back to every now and then. It's like, oh yeah, this item, I could buy this and sell this, like a little bit of trading here and there. But that's sort of what I do, right? Like, if I had that interest in not just being a player who's going to deposit $5 a month and play off that, or $10 a month and play off that, what I do is I'd go into it from the aspect of like, we're going to put in that initial amount and then we're going to trade off of that and treat it like a buy once, play forever type of game. Because there's no saying that Entropia Universe is going to last forever, but I'm pretty sure as long as Entropia Universe is around, it's going to be a free-to-play game, a game where you don't really need to pay to log in. So, you know, there's... You can treat it like a basic, you know, sort of game that you buy once and play forever, or you could treat it on the subscription model. It really just depends how you want to play and what you view as like victory, right? Because for some people, what it's all about is just getting like max eco, max efficiency, you know, or how much damage you can do per second, or if you can kill this mob or that mob, or grinding out this many kills, or getting this many more skills than your friend, or whatever it is, right? Like, for other people, it's all about like, hey, did I make money on this run? Didn't I make money on this run? What's going on? And some, it's about just figuring out the loot pool. Like, there's a lot of people dumping money into the game who just want to figure out how the game works, and they know they're gonna lose money, right? Like, these are smart people, right? They're just, and I sort of sound like Trump here. These are just smart people who are like, oh yeah, we're gonna try and figure out the loot pool, and you know, they realize sort of realistically they're going to lose money on this, but they don't care, because the fun for them is just trying to figure this whole thing out and figure out the system, if you will. Because if you're making a good amount of money, I don't think there's a way that you can make it in Entropia Universe unless you own a planet or something like that. I really don't think anyone's going to be making $100,000 a year playing Entropia Universe. Never Die or someone like that might make it, but they're doing something different, right? They're managing a land area. They're providing sort of a service to players, and I don't feel like hunting, crafting. Well, maybe crafting, but I don't feel like hunting or mining provides a service to players unless unless you have a very specific set of skills, and I don't know if anyone has those, and I don't even know if it's possible to get those, right? Like, if you're the guy who can go out and like a miner's just like, all right, we need 250 of this rare ore, and you can hit it every time. That's a service, right? Or if someone's like, I need this armor part, and you can go out and get it. That's a service. That's like a hunting service. But given the amount of money it would take to hit that specific piece that people usually want, I don't think it's possible. Maybe it is. Maybe like that's how Messi's doing it. I don't know. But from where I'm standing, I don't think that's possible. Okay, we're getting some decent claims here, and I'm running out of stuff to talk about, so we really need to draw this to an end. How many probes do we have left? Because I'm about ready to get going here. Awkward pause. All right, we're done. How many do we have left? We've got 8 probes, and then I'm off because the conversation started out so smoothly, and now we're down to this. I feel like I'm going to fall down this hill and die. I really don't want to, but... Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, I'm dead. Alright. That's not what I wanted. So yeah, I'm going to try mining somewhere else because I'm just sort of... I'm tired of that hill. I really think falling damage is something that they should take out of the game. Like, there's no point of falling damage, right? Just let us drop out of the sky and land on our friends. No big deal. Also, you can, right now, if you bail out of your plane and you know exactly how to land it, you can land without dying. It's completely possible. I know there's someone there that's like, no. No, it is actually. If you jump out of your... I'm going to go to Treasure Island City and just see what we can get here. I got a global there once upon a time. It was a Hoff, but maybe I'll get it again. I know I won't. Let's go to a different place, Northern Shores. But yeah, if you jump out of a plane, or if you're flying and you jump out over water... Usually, I'm not sure how it works on Calypso, but I just did that on Club Never Die. I was like, I couldn't get out of space because I didn't have a space thruster, or my space thruster ran out of juice, and I'm like, oh, I need to buy a new one. So I just jumped out of the vehicle and figured, I'm gonna land, I'll die, and then I'll just go to the, I'll just revive right by an auctioneer. I can buy that, recall my vehicle, and everything's good to go. Nope. I ended up dropping 1,000 feet or whatever crazy number it is, and I landed right in the water. Did not die. I was not happy about that one. I was like, really? Now I gotta walk. Now I've gotta walk all the way, or I've gotta fly. But I couldn't fly because I'd actually lost my vehicle. And I didn't want to drive because I can't drive because I'm in the water. You can't even spawn vehicles in the water. But I'm not sure how that works on Calypso. But yeah, I was a little peeved about that. It was entertaining, but at the same time, I'm like, I really wanted to go just right to the auctioneer. I didn't get what I wanted. But it is what it is. Let's see. Ooh, we can't drop yet. Come on now. I'm almost out of this zone. I'm like, come on. I want to start dropping, hitting my globals. And again, I'm pretty sure Treasure Island still doesn't have any sort of. I don't even see a message about this, do I? Yeah, 0% taxes. Not 100% sure what's going on there. That's a little weird. Like, Treasure Island is actually owned by a player, and it's worth a ton of money. Like, he could sell all this stuff and make a ton. But there's some drama, and for some reason he just set everything to 0%, and I think left the game. Or Mindark did. I'm not sure what happened there, but it's a little weird, right? Like, Treasure Island was one of the first. I think it was the first like big ticket item sold by Mindark. At the time, it was sold for, I think it's like 26,000 USD, which was crazy. Like, that made headlines all over the place. I remember reading about, it was the Club Never Die and Treasure Island and how much money people had spent on these things. And it was just like this crazy amount, and everybody's like mind is blown because this is before streaming or YouTube or any of that. And it's just like, video games? How's a video game worth actual money? Like, is that possible? People were just flabbergasted that this was a thing, that people could pay real money for something in a video game, right? It was just like, that's a thing now? Like, that's what we're doing with life. Like, we're going there. All right, I guess we're doing it. But yeah, it was just this thing. Oh, binary fluid's actually really, usually it's high markup. I'm not sure what it is anymore. I haven't checked recently, but this could be a pretty good claim for me. 5 PD's worth. That's decent, to be honest, because it's binary fluid, or non-binary fluid. All right, that was a bad joke. Sorry. But yeah, like, people were just blown away by it. So like, this guy, Deathfire, he was like the first person that like believed in Entropia Universe and really like put money down. And this was back in like 2004. His land areas obviously are worth a lot more now, but that's a lot of money that he'd be leaving on the table if he just left the game. And it's a lot of money he's leaving on the table just to sort of pack up his bags, set the tax to 0, and walk away. So it's crazy for me to see it, especially from someone who was like so adamant and so like into Entropia Universe back in the day. Because I know like Never Die is still around, right? Like, he's still doing his thing. He's still running and working with Rocktropia, I think. I haven't seen him playing online. I haven't seen him getting globals or anything like that like he used to. But yeah, Never Die used to be like a regular. You'd see him getting globals and stuff like that on the global display. But I haven't seen that recently. Maybe I've just missed it. But yeah, I think maybe he gave up his avatar to work with Rocktropia because then he has access to the code. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe that was it. It sounds familiar in my mind, but I could be wrong on that. So don't quote me. Nobody quote me. Never quote me. Just let's not quote Serial Overdrive. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I need to refine these resources. We're walking a little slow here. And those of you guys that are screaming saying I could just throw everything into my vehicle and send it back, I do know that, but I like doing it this way. Let me do my thing. Let me be who I'm going to be. Plus, then I get to keep all my resources on me, which just makes me happy. And then I can see the markup on them all, and we can talk about that while I'm trying to find my next claim. All right, now we're running again. I want to refine this just to see where the markup on this stuff is. Gives us something to discuss. All right. So I'm not running, I guess. So let's check out binary fluid. I want to see what that's at. That's only 115%. It used to be a lot higher, I thought. I thought this resource used to be a lot higher. Cobalt's probably pretty low right now. Same with this, I'm guessing. Yeah, as is 107. Ah, man, it's always astounding to me to see these prices because some of these resources used to be worth so much. It's crazy. Like, what am I looking at? Like, right? I thought this used to be way higher. Like, if you look at daily or decade, it's 109. So you can see it's been going down. But I'm trying to figure out some like good ones. I don't remember those. Typo used to be like 120, 135. That was a big one. I think this used to be another one that was a high markup, 115. You can see for the decade, and that's reflecting the current price a lot more than the past price because I don't think the game was as big as it is now. So like, yeah, the prices on all these resources has really dropped, which is it's a real shame because I used to love mining. You could almost always guarantee yourself a profit for it. I get why Mindark did it because there's a lot of hunters out there who are very annoyed by the fact that they had to pay high markups for resources, and then there were a lot of crafters that were annoyed because they had to do it. But it was nice when you were a miner. It used to be mining was what anyone who wanted to make money got into because you could do like a really decent job with mining. If you were a good miner, you could make a profit. And even if you weren't a good miner, like I wasn't that great of a miner, and I could still turn a profit like a good percent of the time just because I knew who to sell to. It was the good old days, right? When I was making money playing Entropia Universe. But that's why it was easy too for me to start as a free-to-play player. If you're a miner, right, like you've already got like the resources. You're already getting resources. On top of that, just go out after you've done your mining run, buy resources that you need from people, make some nice stacks, and sell them to either crafters that you know or sell them on auction. Like that was like a guaranteed way to make money because I'd get maximum markup for what I was getting. So usually my returns would be about 95%, and the average markup on the loot that I'd get was about 10 to 20%. So if you run the math on that, I'm making about 5 to 15% a mining run, which was really good. And on top of that, like this is with markup, right? 5 to 15%. Then I buy some ores and end matter from like society mates at like 1 or 2% under auction. I've already got the auction fee covered because I'm making that off my mining run. So all that extra that I make is just money for me, right? Like it's an extra 1 or 2%. So if I can just tell people like, hey, I'm online, like I'll buy all your resources, these miners that would go on daily and mine, they'd all come to me, right? They'd come to me and just be like, all right, Serial, like I've got 2,000 PEDs worth of stuff here. You know, what do you give me for it? And they knew I'd always give them like decently fair prices, right? This was before market value or anything like that. So there were a lot of traders who they buy like list for 102% and then sell it for 110. Like they'd make 8% on top of it and people wouldn't know. And what I used to do is I'd always give people decent prices, right? Like if list is selling for 110, I'd probably sell it on auction 109 because I want to liquidate fast, and I'd buy it for maybe like 107, 107.5. So I'm making 1 to 1.5% off of everything, but I was making money because I was buying in bulk and people knew that they could trust me to give them a good price. So they'd just come right to me and they'd be like, all right, here, like, give me your best price on this. I'll sell it to you, whatever. I won't even do any research into it. I'll sell you this. And for me, it was like a 5-minute thing, right? I just run through the calculator real quick, figure out what everything was, and there you go. It's like bing, bang, boom. You know exactly how much you're going to pay them. You give them the PEDs. I combine that with all my stuff and just start listing everything on auction. And I think at one point I had people coming to me where it was like, there's some people that like, there were days I'd literally log in for 5 minutes and buy maybe like 5 to 10,000 PEDs worth of materials, auction them off, and like within 30 minutes I made, well, not 30 minutes, but it would take me maybe 20 or 30 minutes to do it all. Next day I log in, I've got all the money back because I'm listing everything like top of the line. I'm listing it so it's like the best prices out there. So I'm listing it all at best prices, and it's selling super fast, and I'm just making a nice like 1 to 1.5% off of that, which doesn't sound like much, but you know, if you're selling through 1,000, let's say 5 to 10,000 PEDs worth of stuff a day, that's 50 to 100 PEDs for 30 minutes of work, which is actually like a really good return. That's a really solid return, and I was always happy with that. But yeah, some people would always get greedy, or they hadn't built up the reputation, so they just try and short sell people, and that's why people come to me, because they don't have to deal with any of that. All right, anyways, enough of that. We are done with this run. It took 40 minutes, but we're here. So let's total everything up. This is probably going to be actually a really good run. We went out, we had 250 PDs worth of stuff, so let's just start dropping. I'm gonna save the big one for last because that's how we always do it, right? Look at this, look at this, look at this. This is good news all around, right? Let's drop this in. So just without that global, we're sitting on 186 PDs worth of stuff, okay? So without the global, 186 PDs worth of stuff, and what is this at? We still got 68 PDs worth on the amplifier. So yeah, if you run the math on this, we're about break even right now. We're about break even, which means when we dump this in, we've made quite a few PEDs. So if you run the math on this, we made about 80 PEDs on this run plus markups. So that was a really good mining run. We got a nice global, and I went for 40 minutes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for sitting here and watching it for this long. I know I go on and on. I go off point and off topic sometimes, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. So until next time, peace.